Okay, here we go again. I'm going to try it again because I was listening to all the stuff that was coming through, coming down the pipe, and again that idea came to me of what it was I wanted to say, but it's very vague. So let me see if we can get it into some kind of shape. Recently, I got an email from this man, my co-collaborator, the person I kept calling my teacher, and he suggested to me to come back to India. And a few weeks ago, I would have jumped. In fact, I was jumping up and down, up and down. I was jumping and feeling, I have to go to India, I have to go to India. But finally, at some point, Annie, come here, you have to help me with this. Okay, I need help here, guys. So she's just going to help me. This is silly, but anyway. So finally, I just somehow, that idea wasn't so strong in my consciousness that you have to go to India. Something just sort of dissolved, and I didn't feel so bad anymore, you know? Thank you. So, in any case, when I got the email, I was like, now you tell me. You know, it's like, all this time I've been begging to come, and now that I really don't care, right? And of course everybody said, well, yeah, you know, that's when he's going to say, come, is when you don't care anymore. But what happened was that suddenly I had the feeling that I have a choice. And that's key. So what I wanted to say to you about this whole situation is, what is the big deal about doing yoga? What is the big deal about becoming conscious? And the big deal is that this is one big, you know, I found this acronym yesterday. See, I have been so out of the loop, right? Yeah, I know. I've been so out of the loop, and I don't know what all this stuff is because I just haven't been involved in it for so many years. RPG, I saw this somewhere. RPG, it was like in somebody in his avatar or his nickname, his nick had RPG, and I was like, RPG, what is that RPG? Role-playing game, okay? What we're doing here is all just a big role-playing game, okay? No, there are no bad guys, there are no good guys, everybody's playing roles, and people are not aware of it. And the point is that there are some people who need to move to the next level in order to experience the fullness. And they're trapped on like this broken record of doing the same things over and over again. In other words, I hit you, you hit me. Remember The Godfather? One family, you know, hits the other family, the other family hits them back, then they hit them back, and they're just going round and round and round. Okay? I just remember that. I don't know if it was The Godfather, but I just remember that one conversation. They were saying, I hit him, he hits me. Oh, I know what it was. It was Analyze This with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal. That was a funny film. Okay? Analyze This. So the people are just stuck in these roles, and they're identified with them, and they just don't know. And so the way to experience the delight is to move forward. Here again, it's really hard. It's not coming because actually, this is another thing, Annie. This is why I took Annie, because she can talk to me sometimes. Sometimes I just need somebody to talk to. It looks really funny, right? Okay, I promise. I won't worry about it anymore. I look silly sometimes. She told me to just stop feeling like I look silly. Okay, so the point is that here we are, and we have these games going on, but we don't realize that we're on a stage and that we're just playing a game. And some people have it it's just below the surface of their consciousness. Just go down a little deeper, and they'll find out what's going on. And some of these people really would benefit, and the earth would really benefit from their finding out what's going on. So, but there's a struggle in earth consciousness to do that. So what they're doing is they are helplessly repeating these cycles. That one person is born, and he creates all this karma. He starts all these actions due to his memory, his what we call in Sanskrit is called sanskara. That might say something to some people, but others might not know what I'm talking about. Due to the stored up impressions in his system, he will repeat what he's done in a previous existence, and then it just keeps things going on, going and going. Instead of moving on to the next level, he's stuck somehow. He keeps repeating things. So the point is to move on and to become conscious of the game and to know that this is a game that we're playing and that it's not to be taken so seriously. We can be serious, and we can do it in such a way that people think that we're involved emotionally, but we don't have to be emotionally touched by it. In other words, we can enjoy it without feeling miserable when things go one way or another. Okay, without getting identified with success and failure, without getting identified with praise or censure, we can play our roles, and that produces delight within our system. And some people need to move to that level. It's time. So this message is for you, if that's where you're at. If you're feeling like this. So it's becoming conscious, and I'm calling it game consciousness. And okay, here's the situation. I was in the ashram, and something happened, and I said something. I started yelling, because like I was saying before, sometimes I would just be overcome with these energies, and I couldn't control it, and it would just come out. So I shouted at someone, and Samya said to me, "Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. He probably needed it." And I was like, "Well, that's very comforting. If you are the hangman, the person who has to put another person to death, in other words, you are responsible, or that's your role, you have to cause misery in some way. I mean, yeah, the other person did something, and they're supposed to leave their body, but why do you have to be the instrument of that? Like, why do I have to become the instrument of another person's suffering? You can control that. At a certain point, you get to choose to do or not to do those things. Okay? In other words, you come to a point where you can choose, to some degree, your roles. You can leave some roles behind, because you just leave the identification with those roles behind. If you've been playing the role of a person who's suffering a great deal... Oh, okay, we're getting close to the end. She just told me. It's almost 10 minutes. You can stop that suffering within your own system. When you start to see what's really happening, then you're not identified with what's going on. The same things might be happening, but you're looking at them in a totally different way. Thank you. Okay. And when it's 12 o'clock, we climb the stairs. We never knock, 'cause there's nobody there, just me. and my shadow